I'm guessing how you guys kind of map the match out. It's like I'm going to lay back and I'm going to see what this dude going to do first because whoever gets a hold of who is going to end up controlling the pace of this thing. And that's kind of how, it kind of seemed like. So I thought that was like really cool in the way you guys kind of paced that and mapped it out. And then you kind of started off like real, like not slow per se, but I think I'm going to just use that just so I don't get caught up in trying to think of another word. But like you guys started off slow and then you picked it up. And then at the end, you had everybody just like that. And I think that was just something real cool to see, man. So I just wanted to dive into that match with you.
Those are huge. They're easily the most important and best series of matches I've ever had in my life. Mm-hmm. The first one we mentioned was really kind of the catalyst of me getting out of the Northwest and people kind of starting to know the name. The second one was literally, they kind of happened in successive summers. So July 2017, 2018, 2019. The first two were in the regular kind of venue in Seattle. The third one was actually at the Showbox, which is it's like a really famous concert venue in Seattle that like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all these like huge bands played back in the day. And it's like a big like 1,000 cap room. And so getting to wrestle there was huge. I wrestled Jonathan Gresham in that same room, but getting to have the final match with Tim Thatcher in that room was so important to me. And yeah, honestly, getting to work with him, I think really helped me kind of develop who I am as a wrestler now and putting more importance on things that I always kind of knew were important, but now it's sort of like, oh yeah, this is how I want to wrestle. This is who I'm going to be. This is how I'm going to stand out and be different and make my matches feel important. And I learned so much just from working with him. Honestly, I'll let the curtain, I'll peel the curtain back a little bit. That first match with Tim Thatcher in January 2017, not only did we not, most of the match was not planned. Most of the match was just completely on the fly, except for, like the closing stretches, the real dramatic kind of moments. Right. You kind of like to sort of figure out what's going on. But not only was most of that first match with Tim Thatcher, nothing was planned, we didn't say a single word to each other. The entire time. We didn't speak to each other. It was just acting and reacting. And it was, if this person's trying to twist my arm this way, I know that I need to do this to get out of it and try and, twist his arm this other way or, little things like that. But when it's someone like him it's literally like fighting a grizzly bear off of you because he's so strong and he's I'm a relatively big guy. He's a really big guy. And so, it's just survival, fighting for your life and doing it within the context of pro wrestling. And we've trained and done all these, all these years of kind of building up to it. You sort of know what do you need to do at this moment to tell the story and to kind of engage the crowd. And so, to me, that they're the most important matches in my life. If I could work like that every night out, I would. But not everyone likes to do that style. Not everyone can do that style. You really need, you have a special kind of bond with the people that can do that style. And so, those matches are huge to me. They're important. And after we had the final one in Seattle, which we kind of knew going in, okay, this is going to be the last one. Yeah. And then, like 2 days before it happened was when WXW reached out to me and was like, yeah, so we're going to have you wrestle Tim in Toronto in a month's time. And so we did have a fourth match last summer in Toronto, which was good, but it didn't have the same kind of history. It didn't have the same kind of emotion as the previous three. So I'm very happy for him for where he's gone. And I never in a million years would have expected Tim Thatcher to be on NXT, but honestly, you need guys like him, especially in it all comes back to talking about in pandemic wrestling. You need guys who add that level of realism and who work really hard and are really snug with their movements and with their holds and stuff, especially if we're working in front of small crowds or no crowd whatsoever. And I just think he's a throwback. Like he's an easy person to boo or hate. in modern wrestling. And so I think he'll do well there. I just never expected to see it. So, and I'm glad I got to wrestle him before he went on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, definitely.